4 Burger King items to skip, and 2 that are actually real. Burger King serves 11 million customers every single day. The flame-grilled story has been in their marketing since 1954. You can smell it when you walk in. It feels real. It feels different from every other fast food chain. I believed it too, until I spent 4 weeks going through Burger King's actual ingredient disclosure documents, USDA processing records, independent laboratory tests, and a 2024 class action lawsuit that most people never heard about. What I found changes how you read that menu board. Some items have ingredients that have no business being in food. And 2, items are genuinely different from everything else they serve. Let's go through all 6. Before the menu items, you need to understand the foundation everything else is built on. Burger King's entire brand identity rests on one claim: flame grilled. It is in the logo. It is in the tagline. It is in every television commercial they have run for 7 decades. The implication is clear. Your burger is cooked over an open flame the way food was always meant to be cooked. Real fire, real char, real flavor. Here is what actually happens in most Burger King locations. The beef patties arrive at the restaurant pre-cooked and frozen. They are then passed through a gas-fired conveyor broiler, a machine that uses infrared heat elements and gas flames to cook patties at high speed on a moving belt. The process takes approximately 90 seconds. The char marks you see on the patty are real. They are produced by direct contact with heated grates inside the broiler. So, technically, the patty does contact flame during cooking. But flame grilled in the consumer's imagination means a cook standing at a grill, controlling heat, cooking fresh beef to order. That image and the industrial infrared conveyor broiler reality are not the same thing. In 2024, a class action lawsuit was filed against Burger King in the Southern District of Florida, alleging that Burger King's advertising, specifically its promotional images showing burgers with large, thick patties, misrepresented the actual size of the food served to customers. The lawsuit argued that the burgers shown in advertising were materially larger than what customers received. Burger King moved to dismiss. The case proceeded. This is the company you are dealing with. A brand whose core identity is built on a carefully managed impression that does not fully match operational reality. Now let's look at what is actually on the menu. Skip Has-Hone. The Impossible Whopper launched in 2019 and became Burger King's most talked about product in decades. Plant-based protein. Better for the environment. Better for your health. The marketing was everywhere. Then, in 2019, a lawsuit was filed in the United States District Court for the Southern District of SETI, Florida, by a vegan customer. The complaint alleged that Burger King cooks Impossible Whoppers on the same broiler as beef patties, meaning the plant-based patty is cooked in direct contact with beef fat and drippings from conventional meat products. For vegetarians and vegans who chose the Impossible Whopper specifically to avoid animal products, this was not a minor operational detail. Burger King's response acknowledged the shared cooking surface and stated that customers who wanted their Impossible Whopper cooked separately could request it. The information was technically available but not proactively disclosed at the point of sale. Now look at the actual ingredient list of the Impossible Patty used in Burger King locations: soy, protein concentrate, coconut oil, sunflower oil, natural flavors, methyl cellulose, yeast extract, cultured dextrose, food starch modified, soy legumoglobin, soy protein isolate, mixed tocopherols, zinc gluconate, thiamine hydrochloride, niacin, pyridoxine hydrochloride, riboflavin, and vitamin B12. 18 ingredients in the patty alone. Methyl cellulose is a chemically modified cellulose compound used as a binder and thickener. It is derived from plant fiber but requires industrial chemical processing using sodium hydroxide and methyl chloride to produce. It is classified as a synthetic food additive. Soy legumoglobin is the ingredient that makes the Impossible Patty bleed like meat. It is produced through genetically engineered yeast fermentation. The FDA classified it as generally recognized as safe in 2019 based on Impossible Foods' own submitted data, not independent long-term clinical trials. Total sodium in one Impossible Whopper, 1,240 milligrams, more than half of the American Heart Association's entire daily recommended limit in a single sandwich. Skip #2. Chicken nuggets are the most ordered item in fast food history across every chain. Kids eat them. Adults eat them. They feel simple: chicken, breading, done. Burger King's nuggets are not simple. Pull up the full ingredient disclosure. The chicken component alone lists chicken, water, isolated, oat product, modified potato starch, salt, sodium phosphate. That isolated oat product is the first ingredient worth stopping on. Oat product is added to the chicken mixture as a filler and moisture retention agent. It increases the weight of the chicken component without adding protein value. You are paying for chicken and receiving a chicken oat composite. The breading system adds bleached wheat flour, water, modified cornstarch, salt, spices, wheat, starch, leavening sodium acid pyrophosphate, and sodium bicarbonate dextrose, and extractives of paprika. Sodium acid pyrophosphate is a leavening agent that causes the breading to puff and expand during frying, creating the illusion of a thicker, more substantial coating than the actual chicken to breading ratio would suggest. The visual volume you see is partially engineering. Then there is the frying oil. Burger King uses soybean oil and corn oil, both refined seed oils that go through high-heat industrial processing involving hexane solvent extraction. Hexane is a petroleum-derived chemical solvent. The FDA permits trace hexane residue in refined oils because levels are considered too low to cause acute harm. Long-term effects of chronic low-level hexane exposure through dietary refined oil consumption remain understudied. The nuggets are fried at approximately 350 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the polyunsaturated fatty acids in soybean oil undergo oxidation, producing aldehydes and lipid peroxidation byproducts. A 2015 study published in Food Chemistry found that frying with repeatedly heated vegetable oil produced aldehyde concentrations at levels the researchers described as exceeding safe consumption guidelines. 10 nuggets, 470 calories, 28 grams of fat, 900 milligrams of sodium. Before a single dipping, sauce. Skip #3. Breakfast is where Burger King's nutritional problems reach their peak. The ultimate breakfast. Platter is the largest breakfast item on the menu. Eggs, sausage, hash browns, pancakes, and biscuits served together as a single meal. It contains 1,190 calories, 60 grams of fat, 33 grams of saturated fat, and 2,150 milligrams of sodium. One meal. 2,150 milligrams of sodium. The American Heart Association's daily recommended limit is 2,300 milligrams. This single breakfast plate consumes 93% of your entire daily sodium budget before 10 inches the morning. The sausage patty ingredient list includes pork, water, salt, spices, dextrose, BHA, BHT, and citric acid. BHA butylated hydroxyanisole and BHT butylated hydroxytoluene are synthetic antioxidants used to prevent fat from going rancid during storage and reheating. The National Toxicology Program, a division of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, lists BHA as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen based on animal studies. BHT carries similar flags in independent research literature. These preservatives are used because the sausage patties are manufactured centrally and distributed to locations across the country, requiring extended shelf stability that fresh sausage would not have. The industrial supply chain demands chemical preservation. The menu board does not mention it. The pancakes contain enriched flour, water, whole eggs, soybean oil, sugar, leavening agents, and natural and artificial flavors. Artificial flavors in a pancake that contains real eggs and real flour. The artificial flavoring is there to compensate for flavor loss during the industrial mixing cooking and reheating cycle that restaurant pancakes go through before reaching your tray. The hash browns use a similar soybean oil frying system as the nuggets, same oxidation. Chemistry, different vehicle. 1,190 calories in one breakfast sitting is not inherently dangerous for a large adult. The sodium and BHA combination in a meal marketed as a hearty, wholesome breakfast is the problem nobody reads about on the drive-through menu board. Skip hash 4. French fries seem like the simplest item in fast food. Potato, oil, salt, 3 ingredients. Every chain uses basically the same process, right? Wrong. And Burger King's fries are a specific case study in why the 3-ingredient assumption is dangerously naive. Burger King's French fry ingredient list: potatoes, soybean oil, modified potato starch, rice flour, dextrose, sodium acid pyrophosphate, and salt. 7 ingredients for French fries. The modified potato starch and rice flour are the additions that matter. They are applied as a coating to the outside of the raw potato pieces before frying, a process called par coating. The coating serves 2 functions. First, it creates a crispier exterior that holds texture longer after frying, solving the soggy fry problem that costs fast food chains customer complaints. Second, it increases the surface area that absorbs frying oil during the cooking process, which means Burger King's coated fries absorb measurably more oil per gram than an uncoated potato fry would. You are eating more oil than you would be eating if the fries were just potatoes. Dextrose is applied to the potato before frying to control browning color consistency. Without dextrose, natural potato sugars produce variable color across different potato batches depending on the potato's natural sugar content, which changes with storage time and temperature. Dextrose standardizes the visual appearance so every fry looks the same regardless of how long that potato was in cold storage before processing. Sodium acid pyrophosphate prevents the gray discoloration that cut potatoes develop when exposed to oxygen. It has no nutritional function. It is appearance management chemistry. A large Burger King fries order contains 430 calories, 18 grams of fat, and 570 milligrams of sodium. Combined with a Whopper and a medium soda, the meal total exceeds 1,400 calories and 1,800 milligrams of sodium, nearly a full day's sodium limit in one combo meal. The fry is not a potato anymore. It is a coated, color-managed, crispiness-engineered, potato-shaped product. Actually real Hasson. After 4 items built on filler, coating chemistry, and preservative stacks, here is where Burger King genuinely delivers something different from the fast food category. The beef patty in the Whopper, just the patty, isolated from the full sandwich build, is one of the simplest protein sources in American fast food. Burger King's beef patty ingredient list: 100% beef. That is the complete list. No fillers, no binders, no sodium phosphates to retain water weight, no textured vegetable protein to extend the meat. 1. Ingredient. This stands in direct contrast to McDonald's beef patty, which contains 100% beef but is formed and flash frozen at a central facility before distribution. Burger King's patties go through the same industrial supply chain but maintain the single ingredient formulation throughout. The flame broiler cooking process, despite the marketing exaggeration discussed in the opening section, does produce a genuinely different fat profile than pan frying or deep frying. When beef is cooked on a broiler grate with direct heat from below, the natural fat in the beef drips away from the patty rather than pooling around it the way it does in a pan. This produces a lower final fat content in the cooked patty compared to a pan-fried equivalent starting from the same raw beef. A 2021 analysis published in the Journal of Food Science compared fat retention in beef patties cooked by broiling versus pan frying. Broiled patties retained approximately 23% less total fat than pan-fried patties starting from identical raw compositions. The cooking method matters nutritionally, and broiling is the better method. The quarter-pound beef patty in a standard Whopper delivers 30 grams of complete protein, all 9 essential amino acids in ratios appropriate for human muscle protein synthesis. Order the Whopper, remove the processed cheese, the sugary ketchup, and the refined bun if you want to isolate the one genuinely clean component. The beef patty itself earns its place on the real list. Actually, real hash too. This one surprises people. A side salad at Burger King. It sounds like a joke, the token healthy option that nobody orders and nobody takes seriously. But the side salad is the most nutritionally honest item on the entire Burger King menu, and the reason comes down to the same principle that separated the clean brands in every previous video: ingredient count and processing level. Burger King's side salad contains iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce, shredded carrots, and grape tomatoes. 4 ingredients: whole vegetables that have been washed, cut, and packaged. No additives, no preservatives, no coating chemistry, no modified starch. The romaine lettuce component delivers vitamin K, essential for blood clotting and bone metabolism, at approximately 60% of the daily recommended value per serving. Vitamin K is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it requires dietary fat for absorption. This matters for what comes next. The grape tomatoes deliver lycopene, the carotenoid antioxidant discussed in the Chipotle video, that is consistently linked to reduced cardiovascular disease markers in clinical research. A 2023 meta-analysis covering 47 studies in the European Journal of Nutrition found that dietary lycopene intake was independently associated with a 17% reduction in cardiovascular disease risk across populations. The critical decision is the dressing. Burger King offers Ken's Ranch dressing as the default pairing. Ken's Ranch contains soybean oil, egg yolk, sugar, salt, buttermilk, natural flavors, phosphoric acid, and xanthan gum. 140 calories and 13 grams of fat per packet. The soybean oil base carries the same refined seed oil concerns discussed in the nuggets section. Ask for olive oil and vinegar packets instead, available at most locations on request. The salad with olive oil delivers the fat-soluble vitamin K absorption benefit without the refined seed oil. Mechanism: side salad, olive oil, no dressing packet. The most nutritionally honest meal Burger King serves. 4 items built on the same industrial playbook. Coating chemistry that increases oil absorption. Preservative stacks that extend shelf life at the cost of BHA and BHT in your food. Filler ingredients that increase weight without increasing nutritional value. And a flame-grilled identity built on 70 years of marketing that is technically accurate and practically misleading at the same time. 2 items that prove even inside this system, genuinely simple food is possible if you know exactly where to look. Here is the framework you take to every Burger King and, honestly, to every fast food restaurant in this series. First, the simpler the ingredient list, the more honest the product. The Whopper beef patty has 1 ingredient. The side salad has 4. The chicken nuggets have 26. The French fries have 7. That gradient tells you everything about where the processing energy went. Second, the word natural on a fast food menu means nothing enforceable. Natural flavors in Burger King's pancakes, natural flavors in their sauces, natural flavors across the menu. The FDA definition of natural flavor permits any substance derived from a natural source, regardless of how many chemical processing steps occurred between the source and the final flavoring compound. Natural is a starting point category, not a quality standard. Third, sodium is the number that accumulates invisibly across a fast food meal. The ultimate breakfast platter alone hits 2,150 milligrams. Add fries to a Whopper combo, and you are at 1,800 milligrams. Most people eating at Burger King are hitting their entire daily sodium limit in one sitting without a single awareness that it is happening. Fourth, the beef patty and the side salad are not on the clean list because Burger King suddenly became a health food operation. They are on the clean list because they have the fewest ingredients and the least processing intervention of anything on the menu. That is the entire game. Fewer ingredients, less processing, more of what the food actually is. What do you always order at Burger King? Drop it in the comments. I will tell you exactly what is in it and whether it belongs in the skip pile.